Grayson Report. Happy Monday. What is up? Tammy, Heather, whatever, Wendy, D Nice, Carol, Matthew with the hell oh, Manda Panda, Bernadette, Rave United. What is up, guys? How's everyone doing? Joanne, how's it going? Chris Barber, Tyranna. How's everyone doing? How was your weekend? The mod squad goes echoing. I don't know what it could be. Emily, okay, I'm good. Thank you, mod squad. I was like, wait a second. I didn't touch anything. Emily, what is up? Brandon's in the house. Lisa Boo, how's everyone doing? Did anyone do anything interesting? Shelly, how's it going over the weekend? Chris goes in for her revision surgery tomorrow. Awesome. I hope you have a smooth procedure tomorrow. And how's it going? How's everyone doing? How was your weekend? How was your Monday? While we wait for people to trickle in, I do have a few articles to share before I get into the nitty gritty. The spooky wookie. The mod squad goes pretty good weekend, and yours? Mine was good, actually. It wasn't too hot, so I was enjoying it. I know tomorrow it's going to be hot here. It was kind of hot today, too. And then it looks like it's going to cool down. So I'm looking forward to going over the hump, and then we get a break for a minute. Brandon, thank you for your super sticker of the fitness pair fist bumping hearts for Brandon. Guys, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Gunner Girl, what is up? Bernadette finally watched Talk to Me. Don't tell me anything, Bernadette. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't got a chance. Emily was watching Paul. I try to stay out of it because I just don't want to be reminded. But I'm glad I'm distracting you, Emily. All right, guys, I have an article. I'm going to share a few articles while we're waiting for people to trickle in before I get into the nitty gritty. This was in the news today, our local news. It kind of grabbed my attention. This bizarre discovery. Let me make sure you guys can see. Yes, you guys can see it. This bizarre discovery on a Southern California beach wasn't what it seemed. When I first saw this article, it was basically a picture, and I was like, what is that? And I'll show you the picture. Lifeguards working in Long Beach on Monday found a shocking and grotesque item on the sand on Monday, or so they thought. At about 7:15 a.m., lifeguards saw what happened to be a human skull that had washed ashore in the area of East Ocean Boulevard and Orizaba Avenue, according to the Long Beach Police Department. Officers were notified, and a full-on investigation ensued, with parts of the beach closed down to visitors as the search for other parts of the body. KTLA arrived at the scene and spotted the apparent skull, which seemed to be missing part of its face and teeth. So this is basically the picture that I saw when I clicked on the article. I was like, what the heck is that? Just as a massive homicide investigation was within sight, medical examiners made a shocking discovery on their own. The skull was fake. But just imagine if you were walking on the beach and you see that. Just imagine. I don't know, what would you guys do if you saw that skull, not knowing that it was fake? Would you think it was fake right off, or would you have questioned it? Medical examiners told KTLA that the skull appeared to be something like a prop, despite looking completely legitimate from a lengthy distance. Now, rather than having a full-blown serious investigation, lifeguards can reminisce and laugh about the time they had the beach shut down over a piece of plastic. Yes, it was luckily, I'm kind of glad, luckily it was not an actual human skull, but it was a prop of some sort. August being the start of Halloween season, I'm pretty sure someone just dumped it. Someone was just having fun or something, or it fell off a boat. I don't know, but luckily it wasn't something serious. Dusty! I'm feeling down today. Lost my best friend when my little dog. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dusty. So sorry to hear. That's rough. Guys, hearts for Dusty. It's like losing a member of your family. I feel for you, Dusty. Ray J. Wench, what is up? The Mod Squad Network goes reminds me of the beach that had severed feet washed ashore from time to time. Oh, that's crazy too. Lisa Boo goes, they make them very realistic now. They do actually. The one I have behind me is kind of realistic looking, so I can see why they would automatically call the cops and think it's a body, but I'm so glad it wasn't. Wendy goes, I like fur animals more than people sometimes. I kind of agree with you, Wendy. They do not deserve us. They are there for us no matter what, and I feel for you, Dusty. I hope that we could bring a little sunshine to you today here at Grayson Report, because that is rough. And since today is the day, I don't know, I know some of you are on the East Coast, you could probably see the moon. It's not quite dark here yet, but today is supposed to be the day of the supermoon. So I decided to look up some meanings while we wait for people. I'll wait for a few more minutes before we get into the nitty-gritty. But today is supposed to be the supermoon, and I decided to look up what it means. I was actually curious. I'm kind of into that kind of stuff, so I was like, why not? Let's share what August full moon in Aquarius means for you. August's full moon is a special on two counts. It's a blue moon and a super moon. That's right. You're about to witness a rare super blue moon. How did the illumination get this special moniker? What astrological effects might August super blue moon have on you? Read on to learn more about the month's luminary nickname, the Sturgeon Moon. What is a super blue moon? You ask. A super moon occurs when the moon's orbit means it's closer to Earth than usual, so it appears to be larger. This is the first of 4 supermoons this year, which with more coming in September, October, and November. Then there are 2 types of blue moons, seasonal and monthly. This month's lumination is a seasonal blue moon. Seasonal blue moons occur when there are 4 full moons in a season, as opposed to the typical 3. The blue moon is the third of the set. A monthly blue moon is the second of 2 full moons within a single month. How can I see the August full moon? The full moon reaches peak illumination at 2:26 p.m. Eastern on August 19th, which should be today, and will appear full for 3 days. What is the astrological meaning of the August full moon? The illumination is in Aquarius, a sign focused on humanitarianism, community-driven activities, and group dynamics, with Mercury in retrograde, which is always a B, and Leo and Uranus and Taurus aspecting the super blue moon. Many miscommunications and surprises will be revealed. Try to listen and then respond to ensure they aren't missing any information or are not reacting from an emotional place. On the same day as the full moon, the cosmos sends out other challenging energies. Venus in Virgo connects with expensive Jupiter in Gemini, and authoritative Saturn retrograde in Pisces. At the same time, Jupiter and Saturn square off, creating one of the most important transits of 2024. They'll come together again on December 24th. Since these planets are in mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces, the energy is very tangible, and we might feel as though people are projecting their issues onto us or vice versa. To thrive during the blue moon, we should let the emotions wash over us, and remember none of these feelings are final. Aries, so it's going to go through all the different, for those that are into horoscopes. Aries, you're finding that your hopes and dreams are evolving at the time due to your financial aspirations. It's okay for your visions to be changing and for you to want to make money as long as you are happy with the way they're evolving and in line with your desires. Taurus, a professional opportunity may come your way, but it may force you to hit a pause on other creative projects. You can do it all, so choose which makes sense for your long-term goals. Gemini, you're having breakthroughs and realizing your life can be even bigger than it is now. You might decide to go on a vacation or explore your local community, see what possibilities are available. Cancer, since your intuition is heating up during the blue moon, it's vital to create boundaries with people whenever you get the sense they're needed. You're feeling the vibes and your hunches are probably right. Leo, you're trying to communicate your needs, and that's not always easy. There may be some tough conversations on the way, Leo, but know that it'll be worth it. Relationships strengthen through difficult conversations. Virgo, incorporate exercises like walking or yoga into your daily routine. Your mind is craving a break from overthinking, and one way to do that is by getting lost in the moment. Libra, there could be a lot of gossip circulating, some of which may or may not be accurate. To get to the root of the matter, you need to assess what you're hearing and use your intuition to solve the pieces of the puzzle. The truth will come out in time. Scorpio, under the full moon, reflect on the past to know what you want in the present and create in the future. You may find that your emotions are erratic as you release old sentiments and make room for new ones. Go with the flow and allow yourself to feel your feelings. Sagittarius, miscommunication may be running rampant in your personal life. Go on a fact-finding mission to ensure you really know what's going on. You may find that all is well in the end. Capricorn, you've been putting in hard work. Now's the time to kick back, relax, and enjoy what's left of the summer. Amazingly, you may find this refreshes your energy and gives you the momentum you needed. Aquarius, you're wearing your heart on your sleeve and allowing yourself to be more intimately known by those who care about you. Give yourself permission to express yourself and sit comfortably in the knowledge that your loved ones admire exactly that person. Pisces, do some soul searching and journaling under the light of the full moon. Not only will you begin to understand your passions and motives on a more intricate level, but you'll be able to connect with yourself and give yourself much needed TLC. And also, since it's a full moon clean, it's a good thing to put your crystals, if you have any, underneath the blue moon or the moon, full moon as well, to cleanse them. If you're Delea, happy belated birthday, Delea. Hearts for Delea, guys. Dusty goes, I like to plant seeds on a full moon. Its pull makes them germinate faster and you will see them emerge from the soil earlier. That is super cool. Brandon goes, most of our Mercury is in a landfill, not retrograde. Emily is looking at it, but it's not blue yet. Ray J. Wench says the moon is very bright. Carol goes, it's raining again here, so I can't see it, unfortunately. All right, guys. Hold on while I get the article ready. Tammy goes, I wish it was raining in Texas. I wish it would rain here too as well. I'm kind of I'm done with the heat. I don't know about y'all, but I'm done with the heat. I'm ready for fall weather or cooler weather. I don't know, it's so much better when it's cooler than when it's hot. Bernadette's gonna run out butt naked and dance under the blue moon. Delay goes up to 118 tomorrow. Oh, I feel you. All right, guys, have any of you heard of Lake Lanier? I saw that Manda Panda earlier had said that she used to live near there. It is in Georgia. I've never heard of it. Ray J Wench has. I have never heard of it, so this is a new one for me. So, in this article, it goes, is Lake Lanier haunted? Inside the chilling history of the Georgia reservoir that's seen up to 700 deaths. And I kind of skimmed through it. Like, I'm pretty sure you might feel the same way after hearing the story, but I do not want to go into this lake. I don't care. Just by reading the story, I do not want to step foot in this lake. But I don't know if some of the what they're saying is true, but I still don't want to take a chance. Emily Perkins goes, I'm in Georgia. Oh, that is so cool. Emily is in Georgia. Super cool. So, the supposed haunted Lake Lanier has been the site of hundreds of deaths since it was created in 1956, and some people believe that's because the ghost of victims from the reservoir's dark past drag swimmer to their watery graves. Lake Lanier is the largest in all of Georgia and one of the deadliest in the United States. An estimated 700 people have lost their lives in the man-made reservoir since its creation in 1956, leading some people to believe that Lake Lanier is haunted. I was thinking, before I read this up, I was thinking that maybe it was cursed in a way too. Though this article doesn't mention that, but I kind of feel like in a way it could be. The sun-soaked tourist attraction receives more than 10 million visitors each year, which could account for the sheer amount of deaths. However, nearby Lake Allatoona, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, sees nearly as many tourists annually and has only recorded a fraction of the number of fatalities throughout its history. Level-headed onlookers blame the ruins beneath the surface of the water as the reservoir was built over the historical town of Oscarville. Others think Lake Lanier is haunted by the spirits of those who were forced to leave Oscarville. And still more theorists say the ghost of the 27 victims of the lake whose bodies were never recovered pull unsuspected swimmers to their deaths. With such a violent history dating back more than a century before the lake even existed, it's enough to make one wonder. The bloody history of Lake Lanier. Wendy goes, we fished in the lakes with kayaks. Carol goes, I've seen a couple of shows about this lake. D Nice, what is up? Gunner Girl goes, sounds like a Lifetime movie. The bloody history of Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier might look pristine today, but the land it sits on has a long history of trauma, violence, and death. The Cherokee people lived in what is now Forsyth County, which borders the western side of the reservoir until their expulsion by the U.S. government on the Trail of Tears in the 1830. That is another rabbit hole we could go to. Then in 1912, another minority group was forced out of the area. That September, a teenager named May Crow was and beaten to death in the town of Oscarville. Residents immediately blamed 3 black men. A white mob violently lynched one of them, while the other 2 were found guilty and hanged. Here is the alleged attack where that had occurred. It looks like a beautiful area, but I don't know if I would want to go in the area. So if you guys are curious as to what the Trail of Tears are that it mentioned, it goes between 1830 and 1850. The U.S. government forced the Cherokee, the Choctaw, and other tribes off their ancestral lands with deadly force in what became known as the Trail of Tears, which is sad. Following the incident, groups of armed white citizens who called themselves night raiders threatened black residents and burned their business until they fled from Oscarville. The Atlantic History Center reports that the black population of Forsyth County dropped from 1,098 to just 30 between 1910 and 1920. However, all this history was seemingly washed away when Congress authorized the construction of a dam in 1946 that would create a large lake over 38,000 acres of land in northern Georgia, including the town of Oscarville. Workers broke ground in 1950, and by 1956, Oscarville was completely underwater. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers relocated most of the homes and structures before flooding the area, and they moved several cemeteries, but any unmarked graves were left behind. From Forsyth County's original inhabitants to the loved ones of the black families who were run out of town in the 1900s, these ghosts allegedly haunt Lake Lanier to this day. And here is kind of a this is in this picture's the Buford Dam, which formed the lake. So this is kind of where the dam is, and this is kind of it looks beautiful where it's at, actually. In 2020, Army Corps of Engineers spokesperson Cesar Yarbor told CNN, while the Corps made every effort at the time to locate unmarked burials, the limited capabilities of the time made it probable that unanticipated finds of human remains are possible, whether from the antebellum and Civil War periods or the Native American origins from pre-colonial and ancient times. What's more, these spirits are said to be joined by the hundreds of victims who have died in Lanier's murky waters since 1956. And there's a whole article speaking about the deaths. Is Lake Lanier haunted? Inside the chilling theories, which we could talk about when I finish this article. I'll go down that rabbit hole. The most famous case of Lake Lanier's haunted past is the local legend of the Lady of the Lake. In 1958, two women named Delia Mae Parker Young and Susie Roberts accidentally drove Roberts' car off a bridge and drowned in the reservoir. A fisherman found a decomposed body in the lake the following year. The corpse was wearing a blue dress and had no hands, but otherwise it was wholly unidentifiable. However, locals reportedly began catching glimpses of a ghostly, handless figure in a blue dress walking across the very bridge that Young and Roberts had crashed on. Rumors began circulating that this Lady of the Lake snatched swimmers from below, causing them to drown. Then in 1990, workers building a bridge found a Ford sedan at the bottom of Lake Lanier, according to a report in the New York Times from November 5th, 1990. So this was kind of recent. I mean, well, not recent, but recent compared to when the dam was created. There were bones in the car, and they were matched to Susie Roberts. Her son told reporters, "We believe she was in the lake, but then we heard she might be in Chicago, then in Florida. We wondered if she survived, but had amnesia and never knew where to go." The identification of Roberts led authorities to surmise that the body pulled from the reservoir back in 1959 was that of Young, finally giving a name to the eerie Lady of the Lake who haunted Lake Lanier. Countless other tragedies haunt the Georgia Reservoir too, even if they don't have their own ghost stories to go along with them. Christmas of 1964 was the deadliest day in the history of Lake Lanier. Another crash took the lives of 7 people when a car again plunged into the icy waters. One married couple and 3 of their 4 children, as well as 2 other kids, were killed in the accident. In addition to car wrecks, countless boat collisions, fires, and electrocutions have occurred over the decades. Most of these have been written off as negligence, though some are bizarrely unexplainable. For instance, a boat explosion in 2021 seemingly came out of nowhere when a vessel that had never had any prior issues randomly blew up on the lake. Then there's the disappearance of Kelly Nash, which remains a mystery to this day. On January 5th of 2015, the 25-year-old got out of bed at 4 a.m. feeling sick, and when his girlfriend woke up the next morning, he was nowhere to be found. His body was discovered in Lake Lanier a month later, and although he had a pew-pew wound to his head, his pew-pew wound, his death was ruled a drowning. Don't ask me where I got the head from. Whether these deaths can be explained by natural events or were brought about by paranormal activity is up for debate. Regardless, the alleged haunting of Lake Lanier doesn't keep away the millions of people who flock to its shores each year. Dusty goes, I find the Lady of the Lake stories especially creepy. There are so many of them, especially when I know there's always like the lady in white, and we always kind of hear that a lot. But this one, I'm kind of with you on them. With the Lady of the Lake, it's kind of creepy when it comes to that. Bernadette goes, why is it always a dress? Why not jeans or shorts? You know what? That's a good question. And this was in 1990 when their car plunged, or around the 90s where their car plunged into the river. So I agree with you. It could be jeans or it could be sneakers or whatnot. I mean, I guess it looks like a dress. I don't know. Dusty also goes, interesting that the lake is on the Trail of Tears. I can understand why it might be haunted. Also, covering the graves is concerning. Emily goes, always a lady. Yep, there's always a lady in white. So, the alleged haunting of Lake Lanier today. Today, most of the people who vacation at Lake Lanier aren't aware of its chilling history. Why then do many of them still experience an eerie sense of foreboding in its waters? Some swimmers have claimed to hear bells from the steeple of a church that once stood in Oscarville. This should be impossible. The Army Corps of Engineers removed all the large structures before they flooded the reservoir. After all, but the reports of ringing persist. However, it's hard to ignore allegations of hauntings when other evidence of the lake's past lives just beneath the surface. An old auto racing track sits at the bottom of the reservoir, and so do body parts, according to some divers. So that was where I was like, nope, I am not going in that lake. But it looks beautiful from the pictures. Buck Buchanan, who had frequently descended into the depths of the Lake Lanier, once said, you reach out into the dark and you feel an arm or a leg and it doesn't move. Still, whether Lake Lanier is truly haunted is in the eye of the beholder. Despite witness accounts of apparent ghost sightings and the numerous deaths that remain unsolved, most people believe the lake is just another body of water. For others, however, Lake Lanier is undoubtedly haunted. With such a sordid past, how could it not be? So, guys, do you think Lake Lanier is haunted? I think it is because of just by reading the history, but the only way to find out is if anyone could visit there and tell us. Maybe one day I'll be able to visit these locations that I talk about. But for now, it's based on what I'm reading, and I think it is. And I do not want to go to the lake, considering that there were unmarked graves that they did not move before they put the water over it. That has me concerned. I do not want to be, I mean, hypothetically, but I wouldn't feel comfortable swimming in that lake. I would think something would be trying to grab me or something. It would just freak me out. Matthew goes, the Army Corps of Engineers, the ones who made the barrels in Return of the Living Dead, just cracks when someone slaps it. Wendy goes, I do think so. I believe I reside on haunted land 100%. And then also, too, regardless of, I mean, Native Americans used to run the land, so, and they forcibly made them leave. So it makes me think that, I mean, it doesn't mention a curse, but I kind of want to say, like, maybe it is a curse, because why are all these things happening on the land? Like, why are all these accidents occurring? How is there 700 deaths? Like, I mean, in the article, it explained a boat fire that couldn't be explained. And there was people that used to live there, and they forced them out as well. So this other article kind of says, I'm kind of, because I don't want to reread. It's saying they simply flooded the area and the remnants of the town still rest at the bottom of the lake to this day. At the same time, they didn't believe this would cause any problems. After all, Lake Lanier was only meant to supply water to other towns and cities in Georgia. But as more and more people began to visit the lake recreationally, it proved just how wrong the Army Corps engineers had been. It says in 2010, more than 1,200 people have drowned in the Great Lakes, according to Detroit WDIV TV. But Lake Lanier is a fraction of the size of even the smallest Great Lake. For 700 people to have died in Lake Lanier in its 70-year history is out of the ordinary. Oh, no. When those two women died, it was 1958. It was in 1958 when those two women, Susie Roberts and Dayla Mae Parker Young, where they get the Lady of the Lake, had vanished, and then they found the car in 1990. So I was mistaken. It also adds the fact that Oscarville Cemetery also sits beneath the surface of the water, adds some spooky credence to the rumors that Lake Lanier is haunted, and these legends have only grown more popular as Lake Lanier's death toll rises. It also says accidents are bound to happen when large groups of people gathering in the same area. Boats collide, swimmers drown, and cars lose control while driving over the bridge. But some of the most bizarre deaths at Lake Lanier continue to fuel rumors of a curse, which is why, okay, this one mentioned a curse. That's what I'm thinking. Lake Lanier had continued to see its fair share of tragedies in recent years. In July of 2023, 3 men died in separate incidents over a single weekend. Thomas Milner, 24, was electrocuted after jumping off a dock into the lake. Then a 61-year-old man was found dead after driving off the side of the boat. The very same day, a 27-year-old man vanished while swimming. His body was discovered several days later. It doesn't help that the waters of Lake Lanier can often be dark and murky, making it harder to find people who vanish beneath the surface. As reported by CNN in 2020, diver Buck Buchanan once claimed he had felt body parts, which I had read in the previous article. In the wake of many deaths in Lake Lanier, some people have called for the reservoir to be drained, including Usher's ex-wife, Tamika Foster. Foster lost her 11-year-old son, Kyle Glover, after he was struck by a boat in the lake in 2012. Despite all this, it doesn't seem as if Lake Lanier will close anytime soon, given how central the reservoir is to Georgia's water and power infrastructure and the number of tourists it attracts each year. The deadly lake will likely be around for a long time. Julissa, what's up? Carol goes, I waited in Lake Erie when I was at Camp Perry. Wendy goes, I'd go with the curse, bad news. Ray J. Wench goes, I'd rather go swimming in Lake Erie next to the dump area rather than that lake. I honestly, I would not, after hearing that, no. No. I don't want to be walking. I don't want to feel, yeah. I mean, if the there's unmarked graves still in there, you might find or come across a bone, and I do not want to come across that. I do not want to disturb uh I don't want to disturb someone's resting place. And I feel like with all I get it, they're saying a lot of people because of the amount of people there it can cause accident. I get it. People sometimes don't pay attention. Obviously they're probably having a good time. Which can, reduce their judgment. And I get it. That can happen, but for it to happen those many deaths, it just feels like it's just there's something there. It And then there was a recent one too. There's 3 of them recently, like a year ago. So it's like, how is this? It makes no sense. And because this stuff is happening, wouldn't you think they would have extra safety precautions too put in place? So I don't know. I still think there's something there, and I think it's cursed. Somebody might have put a curse in the land. Because that's what it sounds like to me. Dusty goes, there are several reservoirs in the Columbia River behind the several dams with recreation parks that we camped at in Washington State. We would fish but never swim in them. Emily goes, if they're driving over a bridge in winter down here, well, nobody knows how to drive during winter down here, which makes sense. That does make sense. Wendy goes, Lake Erie is a hot spot in Ohio. Cedar Park, Ohio. I said Ohio. Have any of you actually been to Lake Lanier? Out of curiosity. I mean, it looks beautiful from afar. I just won't. I mean, I would go to visit it, but I won't go in it. It looks like a beautiful area, but one day I will put it on my list. One day I will visit. And I will bring you guys with me. And I'll let you know if I see the Lady of the Water or feel any weirdness. I am not going in the water, though. Hell no. Wendy goes, nope, just Cedar Park. We have one up here by me. I hike the trail every once in a while. Up here by Benelli Park. It's in the next city over. Um, Beautiful area because I like being by water. I like seeing water. I like just it. I'm kind of like a cabin in the woods girl. I like forests. I'm not a beach type of person, so when I go there, it kind of reminds me like I'm in the mountains hiking in a bit and walking by the water. I used to go in that water. I don't know if there's any strange happenings that occur there, but I don't want to find out because it'll ruin the serenity for me. It does. Tirana, it does sound very creepy. Oh, guys, as always, Dusty reminded me, Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. If you guys are new to the channel, I move Skeleduck every stream. He is pictured in the right-hand corner. Just remind me at the end of the stream because I will forget if I don't reveal his location, and I will reveal him by the end of the stream. All right, guys, this article, I kind of, because I have a bad thing of not proofreading my articles before I share them. But this one, I've been trying to, so I can get an idea of what I'm reading. Emily goes, like Hale's Bar in Tennessee supposedly cursed Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters did episodes on it. Heather Winter goes, unless the duck hides when you aren't looking. Exactly. So I thought this was kind of interesting. I mean, at first I was like, giant shark has been terrorizing divers for years. What? We have a Meg somewhere out there? But Lake Neuchâtel in Switzerland holds a scary surprise for divers exploring its depth. No, it's not Jason Voorhees, but it's still a formidable monster. As you can see in the picture above, intrepid swimmers are treated to a 20-foot shark with huge sharp teeth and a menacing grin. It is as if Bruce from Finding Nemo found a home. I was like, holy crap, how are these divers so close? This can't be real. This isn't a Disney movie, though, and there is some speculation on how the giant fish got there. It still falls within the realm of entertainment, but not the child-friendly kind. According to Lad Bible or LAD Lab, I don't know how they pronounce their LA Lad Bible. I'm just going to say it like that. The monstrosity is a relic from a 1975 movie that never got finished. Given the timeline, we would imagine that the film was about a man-eating shark, perhaps a Swiss version of Jaws. So this is what it looks like. That would scare the bejesus out of me if I came across it. It isn't real, but it's still kind of cool if you're a diver to see this. I'm not a diver, so I probably won't be seeing it anytime soon, but it's still cool. Although it can't be confirmed, internet sleuths speculate that the film was called Shock a Lac. That theory makes sense because the film was about a shark terrorizing a small town. It's believed since the movie wasn't completed, for whatever reason, the filmmakers decided to throw the shark into the lake as a kind of prank to spook unsuspecting divers. Some believe that it was put there as a tourist attraction. Either way, underwater explorers have been visiting the statue, unironically nicknamed Bruce, ever since. The Lad Bible says the prop has been at the bottom of the lake since 2022, but according to Tumblr, it's 2007. Which so much conflicting information, it's hard to tell where or when Bruce swam to the bottom of the lake, but divers don't seem to mind the reason as they continue to visit the fiberglass fish at the bottom of Lake Neuchâtel. So here's like another kind of, before they put it in the water, is what it looks like. But just imagine, regardless if it's fake or Emily goes, not creepy at all. Just imagine, regardless that it's a prop, just imagine coming across this while look at how dark it is down there. It doesn't seem like it's like too, it's like, dimly lit. So just imagine coming across that, not knowing that that's there. That would scare the bejesus out of me. But it's cool nonetheless. I'm pretty sure a lot of those divers, after a while, I'm pretty sure these divers already know that that's there. They probably took some selfies with it. I would. That looks cool. That, but still, I'd be like, no. Heather, whatever goes, ew, he's laughing though. D Nice goes, whenever I hear the name Bruce, I think of Matilda and automatically want chocolate cake. Lisa Boo goes, T-Rex teeth. Yeah, those things are menacing. Wendy's like, holy crap, nope. D Nice goes, they're not close. That thing is just big. Heather whatever goes, I don't like sharks. Bernadette goes, fish are friends, not food. Matthew goes, not as cool as the giant dolphin with rabies. So this article, the owner is claiming that they own the world's most haunted doll. And you know how I love haunted dolls. I own the world's most haunted doll. She left my back burning with scratches. This is from the New York Post. and I hate ads. This doll is not to be played with, although she looks very demure. The world's most haunted doll. And I'm pretty sure they actually put this moniker on every doll that they come across. I've heard it more than once. An antique toy believed to be possessed by a jilted bride named Elizabeth has allegedly scratched, yanked, and attacked 17 fellas in fits of ferocious fury. It seems like the doll has a hatred toward men. Paranormal investigator Lee Steer, 37, from the UK, told Kennedy News. So this is Steer in the picture, who claims that the doll is possessed by a scorned bride who viciously attacks men. She does not like men. I don't blame her if she's a scorned bride. The spook seeker who purchased the plaything for nearly $1,000 on eBay recently fell victim to the toy's terrorism, claiming he was left with severe scratches to his back while in the bridal doll room of his museum. People say it hates married men and goes around scratching married men, said Steer. I suspect it to be the most haunted doll in the UK. Maybe it is, I don't know. But she's far from the only creepy cutie to curse the citizens of Great Britain. Aisha Barrett, 35, a London-based property guardian residing in an abandoned hospital, previously revealed that her unconventional crib crawled with tortured souls. So here is Elizabeth, the doll that terrorizes. She's a jilted bride. I'm not sure what I'm hoping this article tells us what her story is. I do not know what her story is. I'm in living fear, the millennial confessed to over 500,000 TikTok viewers while giving ghost buffs a grand tour. The only thing I have a problem with TikTok is there's too many people trying to be TikTok famous. And I know you guys heard me say this before, but that's why it makes me a little skeptical when it comes to TikTok. And across the pond in New York City, music maniacs claim rock legend Jimi Hendrix' West Village studio, the Electric Lady, is too full of phantoms. Pretty much every assistant I know has had some kind of sighting late at night when they are alone, Grammy winner mixer Michael Bauer told the Post earlier this month. But Steer says his demon doll doesn't need her target to be solo before attacking. In fact, the apparitions pro claims he was assaulted while in the company of his girlfriend, Sarah Carter, 32, who's pictured above, and another spirit sleuth. I was doing an investigation and I had a burning sensation on my neck, said Steer. At first, I didn't think much about it. When Sarah and the other investigator, mentioned I had scratches on my back, the burning sensation moved down. He continued, likened the marks Elizabeth left to a pentagram. It seems the doll has a hatred toward men, added the expert. People say it hates married men and goes around scratching married men, but it doesn't tell us her story. That does not look like a pentagram to me. It just looks like scratches on the back. But Steer's colleague, John Paul Kenny, 34, felt the doll's wrath while filming a TikTok live while on a date with girlfriend Kimmy Jeffrey, 38, in the bridal doll room. I had my shirt on and I was talking to her and I felt something grab my shirt and my skin was touched, said Kinney. Where my skin was touched, my shirt popped out, he detailed. I reacted and it felt like someone had come behind me and pulled my shirt and wanted my attention. I kept thinking I was seeing the bridal woman all night too. I wasn't scared, but it put me on edge. The hair-raising moment was even captured on camera. It was 100% the bridal. So I guess this is the bridal room pictured above. With the bride. I mean, it doesn't tell us what the bride's story is. Come on. It was 100% the bride doll that did this to me, Kenny insisted, claiming that he has been told he favors Elizabeth's fiancé. On the night, I felt like I had seen her too in the corner of my eye in a white dress. All night we were going around and I could feel it. It was amazing. But Steer says the doll often leaves ladies alone. It is all men and never a woman that is attacked, he explained. The doll has moved stuff in the room while Sarah has been there, but it has only claimed to have scratched a male. Elizabeth has also been accused of throwing perfume bottles and projecting bone-chilling words such as bride and haunting onto screens. What is her story? Why? I mean, if there's a story behind her, I'd be more, I could see why, but there's no story about this doll. The little troublemaker's motive, however, remains unknown. Why she's doing it is a mystery, says Steer. Some people think she was treated badly by a man, and some think her wedding went wrong, so that is why she haunts a bridal doll. It could also be the fact that Elizabeth has always been the center of attention in the museum, and now we're getting new items in, and she's feeling a bit of jealousy. The father of two furthered. We've got famous items from The Conjuring now, and maybe she's feeling a bit forgotten, so she's making herself known in the most extreme ways. Here's another picture of the bride in her glass box. And Steer's sweetheart Carter is making it known that she will not be in Elizabeth's presence unaccompanied. I won't go through the bridal room because you have to walk through the room to get to the light switch, so it's pitch black when you first go in, she says. If I ever go to switch the light on, she messes with the light switch, said Carter. She knows it unnerves me and I hate it. So I guess they don't know the story of her, but I mean, I guess by her attacking males, it has to do something with something happened to her. Maybe she was left at the altar and she's just fuming. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. So it kind of, puts a kind of, I don't know. It kind of makes me 50-50 when it comes to that story. Wendy goes, I had a Raggedy Ann. Heather, whatever goes, looks like file your nails. D Nice goes, that looks like one of the heads in Return to Oz. Joanne goes, bridal doll room. I guess that it's a room just for her. Wendy goes, do you know about Mrs. Beasley? No, I do not. D Nice goes, all dolls are haunted, plain simple. What do you guys think? Do you think she is a jilted bride that's haunting, or do you think they're making it up so that they could get some publicity for their museum? Because it doesn't give us much. I guess they don't know the story of her, but I would think you would know something. Heather, whatever goes, publicity. I believe that there are haunted dolls, but I don't know, especially since they were on TikTok. That kind of makes me question it. Not to say that everyone on TikTok. It's kind of sad though, because of people, adding things to the video. It kind of sucks for people that actually have something, because now we're questioning them. So it sucks about that. I'm open to the possibility of it being real, but it still makes me question it. D Nice goes, I think she's pretty. Porcelain dolls are creepy for a reason. Ray J. Wench goes, without a story, it's for the money, which that's how it seems to me, because there's no hype to it, I guess, in a way for me. Like, usually if there's a story or a backstory about something, they'll be like, oh, you know what? But this one, they're like, we don't know. So it's like, Wendy goes, total marketing. Emily goes, trying for publicity. Bernadette goes, if it's not true, then make up a backstory for her at least. Exactly. I was thinking that right when I was like, exactly. Just make up some true, like, cool backstory for her. She's wearing a wedding dress. You can easily say she was left at the altar or something, and or she died on her wedding night, or she found her husband with another woman, or you could have said something like that. Tyranna thinks they're making it up. Lisa Boo goes, it's very strange. Lisa Boo goes, you would think they'd know where it came from. Yeah, because usually when you buy things, it gives you a little backstory. So, I mean, he purchased the doll for $1,000 on eBay. So, I mean, there should have been some explanation on the eBay post as to what's going on with the doll, unless the person that sold the doll just said, porcelain doll was made in such and such year, and didn't give anything else. And when he got it, That's when he discovered that it was haunted. I don't know. Gunner Girl goes, hubby's grandma owned a porcelain doll store she made for many years. Oh, wow. That's cool. Ray J. Wench goes, if people don't like dolls, skip the third section at House on the Rock. Lots of dolls. I love dolls. I'll be like this. D Nice goes, she sure had a happy ending during her honeymoon. It took her breath away. It literally. So the this next article is kind of local here to SoCal. It's weird because we were kind of talking about, I think in my last stream or the stream before, I don't remember what stream we were talking about, Twin Pine Mall, which was in Back to the Future, which was filmed at Puente Hills Mall here in the city of Industry, which is in this area. I don't live in that city, but it's near me. So I did find, which is weird because we were talking about it, and I found like this about it being haunted, and I was like, what? I didn't find much, but I did find this article. It's from Macabre Daily. Haunted USA, La Puente, West Covina, and the city of Industry in California. Why these three cities? Well, for one, I used to live in one of them, and another reason why we are covering these cities is that I know more about the paranormal goings on in them than most. Check out the sordid past of my hometown below. La Puente, Hurley Elementary, tetherball court, which I had never heard of, but this is kind of interesting. The story goes that two kids were at the school playing tetherball around 7 p.m. one night, and one of the kids hit the ball so hard the chain wrapped around the neck of the other child, and hunger and fear, the first child ran off and left the girl to die. It is said that at night one could hear a girl crying from the school and also hear the tetherball chains clinking and making noise when there's absolutely no wind. Nogales Burgers. Nogales Burgers is a very popular spot for kids. I don't know when this was written. July 30th, 2021. So this is kind of a little, it's an older article. Nogales Burgers is a very popular spot for kids and adults to grab a great burger or just munch on fries. There have been reports of patrons after closing seeing the owner's father walk around the shopping center where Nogales Burgers is located. Consequently, the owner's father died in a grease fire many years ago inside Nogales Burger. Nogales High School. It is said that the spirit of a young man haunts the school at night and has been walking around the quad or lunch area at night. He is said to be the spirit of a local boy who died on the railroad tracks near the school. Puente Hills Mall, AMC Theater. This is where, like I was saying, this is where Back to the Future was filmed. And it was before the theater was there. The theater was built a while later. I don't remember when it opened. It has been reported that the ghosts of children running and playing could be heard in the hallways of the theater late at night when no one was there. A little history about the mall. The location where the theater is now used to be a Broadway department store, and many employees reported strange goings on while working at night. Hangars moving by themselves, noises coming from air ducts, and even a poltergeist that was known to bump into shoppers. The Broadway was torn down in 1996 and replaced by the theater. So if you guys, I haven't been to this theater in a while, but I've never felt anything. But I guess if the next time I do go there, I will check it out and see if I sense anything. But I feel like if there's a lot of people there, you're probably not going to experience any of the things like this. I feel like the people working there would most likely. So you'd have to ask the people that work there. Jillian, what is up? City of Industry, Pacific Palms Resort. I think D Nice had told me a little bit. Her dad has a Tesla X. It's an X, and I shared it on a previous stream. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, D Nice, he was parked at Pacific Palms when he when he got these figures. I did share it on a previous stream. I'm not sure which one it is. I don't remember which one. It's probably 2 months ago, I think. But he did, in his Tesla, did catch a figure in his camera, and there was nothing there. So it's kind of crazy that there is this in here at the Pacific Palm Resort. It is it's on the top. Well, it's kind of on the top of the hill. The hills in and around the Pacific Palms Hotel and Resort are a haven for weird and strange sightings and sounds. Some people claim a serial rapist took children into the hills and killed them there. Others claim that a couple could be seen running through the golf course late at night. Please do not trespass, as this is private property. So he's probably people have gone there to see if that's happening. West Covina, Gloucester Park. I've heard of this park. I've kind of been wanting to go, but I'm kind of been wanting to go to this park, but after kind of seeing it, it doesn't look like it's in the greatest shape, and it doesn't look like it's in a great part of town. But West Covina is not too bad. This park is actually well hidden and is rarely used by the public. Many local gangs used to take potential members to the park and make them spend the night there to prove they had courage. A serial rapist and murderers used to live in a shack in the park. He was apprehended after a 2-week search of the area. Many bodies of children and armed women have been discovered here, along with a tree that was used in many S's. In 2008, a paranormal investigation crew tried staying in the park after hours and was chased out by a group of men carrying knives. This place is very, 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 very dangerous, and that's the reason it looks very, very, very dangerous. So that's the reason why I stay away from that place. The pictures don't even look like it's safe. But I've always been curious because the things I've heard about it too is you'll see like ghost children. If you drive by, some people have seen ghost children, and it has freaked them out. So I've always been curious about it, but the area isn't that great, so I kind of want to stay away from it. South Hills Elementary. It has been reported that 3 women who were killed in a car accident can be seen in front of the school late at night trying to still pick up their kids. That's sad. Well, there you have it. Some of the most haunted places in my local areas. Come and visit me sometime, won't you? So those are some creepy stories that's local to here to me in SoCal. D-Dice goes, that's very, very convincing. Jillian has been to Covina before and wants a darn burger. D-Nice goes, if you want, I could share the video again on Telegram. Yeah, go for it, D-Nice. Thanks, D-Nice. I appreciate that. So if you guys are over on my Telegram, D-Nice is going to reshare the video of her dad in his Tesla catching a ghostly figure behind his vehicle, and no one is there. And it was in that Pacific Palm parking lot, which is where which that article had mentioned that there's some strange things going on there, which I have never known. I've driven by there many of times, and I've never knew about that. But the one that struck me was the mall, because I was like, what? But I feel like with those stories, to investigate those, you have to be there when there's barely any people. So probably, like I had said earlier, probably the best thing would be ask the employees that work there. Have you guys felt any ghostly presence? They'll be like, huh? I don't know if you guys follow Jason from Ghost Hunters. He did have a video that popped up about him asking Jacqueline Nunez, the owner of the Conjuring House, to come on his channel to talk to basically talk and give her side of the story. I thought it was a good idea, but then I guess he tore it down, and you could see it on his YouTube. He took it down, and he put an apology video up, and he didn't want to support her because he felt like that was supporting her, and he was frustrated because this woman is harassing his children now because he blocked her. So now she's finding other ways to harass her. So he said he was frustrated. I mean, I feel for the guy. I felt like it was a good idea. I don't know. But I knew she wouldn't have done it anyway. I feel like she's too entitled woman. Like, she can't do no wrong, and no one, she doesn't care what anybody thinks, type of thing. So I didn't think she was going to do it anyways. Jillian goes, yeah, she's been filed toward him, which I mean, I understand why he took it down, because he was like, I don't want her on my channel. Like, I don't want to support her. I don't want to hear her craziness. Which is, I mean, if you go to the Conjuring House Facebook page, she's still going crazy. I know I'm always reading posts on the Facebook page, but it's crazy. She keeps going and going and going. So I feel for this man, and I hope that he could get justice. At first, I thought he might have taken it down because he does have he's taken it to the police. So maybe I thought that maybe that would have been like a conflict of interest, but he decided to turn it on because he wasn't acting in the right mind, which he says, if you guys want to check out his apology, he gives an apology, which I don't think he needs to give an apology. He really doesn't. But he had explained that he was doing it in haste. He was frustrated. Which I don't blame the guy. The woman just doesn't stop, and he really has no ties with her. He even explains in the video that the previous owners had asked him to purchase the house, and now he's kind of wishing that he did, but he didn't at the time, which I didn't know. I didn't know they had approached him to purchase the house, but the Heinzens had approached Jason Hawes to purchase the house, and now he's like, "Down, I kind of wish I did because of this woman." So, I mean, I probably at the time he was like, "No, I don't need it." Heather, whatever goes, I think she's in some kind of trouble. Conjuring House is going mainstream news. Oh, she's all over the place. Like, when the interview with Jason is up, if you guys want to check that out, you just have to Google ghosts in the news, really, and it'll pop up, or Conjuring House, and all these articles will pop up. Emily goes, she's gone crazy. Jillian goes, she's a bit batty. But Jason Hawes is on YouTube, so if you want to check out his video, it is on there, where he does apologize about and give an explanation, which I feel like he didn't have to, honestly. I felt like it was a good idea because it would make her, I mean, it kind of, if she would agree to it, it would just prove more of who she is, which we already know who she is. But he decided to take it down, and like I said, he was like just frustrated, and that's why he wasn't thinking when he was doing it. Jillian goes, I've adored Jason for 20 years. He is super awesome. I started out as a fan of ghost hunters way back in the day, and then I stopped watching investigative shows for some odd reason. Then I got back into it. I still watch when they were on TLC Discovery. I watched them, and then I would watch Ghost Adventures. I know a lot of people don't like Ghost Adventures. I feel like Zach is like the I don't know, he's like the hated member of paranormal community, but I but I do watch that. I do watch some other things, but they are Ghost Adventures is no longer with the network, so he's trying to find a home. So what he is doing is putting stuff on his YouTube channel. So if you guys want to check it out, if you're a fan of Ghost Hunters, check it out. It's not the same. I mean, it doesn't have Steve on there and the gang, but it does have him talking about haunted locations. I hope to do that one day because I like what he's doing. So Jillian goes, I love Zach, but he changed. I totally get it. And if you want to check out the Conjuring House Facebook page just to see the craziness that she writes, go for it. Because I can't compute anything she's saying anymore because it's just ridiculous. And I don't want to read it anymore because this woman is just, we all know that she's lost her rocket and she just needs to step away. Wendy Goes Ghost Hunter OG did a feature in my hometown of a haunted church in North Leominster turned into a condo unit. They ghost hunters mostly does because they are on the East Coast, so they tend to do more things on the East Coast. That's why I liked watching them, because they were going to places that I've never been to. That's how I know about the Pennhurst Penitentiary, is because of them. So it's kind of cool to see places that they go to because they're on the East Coast as to where Ghost Adventures kind of does more in this on the West Coast area. But it's still cool. It's still cool to see the locations. I have one more article, guys, and I will open it up for questions. I thought this was kind of cool. A kind of cool article. And it goes, signs your pet has just seen a ghost. From barking to rolling on their backs. I always think that our animals can see things that we can't. And I do also believe that they could come and visit us in the afterlife. Star Paws columnist Catherine Lamb reveals how to spot if your pet has sensed something paranormal in their presence with 5 top telltales signs, as nearly half of owners think they've noticed it happened. Many of us have felt a strange presence at one point in our lifetime, but did you know that our furry friends may be able to sense something ghoulish too? Animals are very intuitive and have a sixth sense for things, so they may very well detect something that we can't. I always thought that they could sense things that we can't, because they can sense. A lot of animals can sense how we're feeling too, and kind of adapt to us and help, comfort us as well. Here, Star Paws columnist Catherine Lamb shares how to know if your pet has had a spooky encounter. Spooky encounters. If you think your furry friend had spotted something spooky, you're not alone. Over a quarter of UK pet owners believe their four-legged friends have seen a ghost or supernatural presence. Most think this because their pet has stared intently at an empty space or has watched something cross the room that they themselves cannot see. And nearly half believe that their furry friends have growled, barked, or hissed to warn them about a ghoulish presence. Many also say their pet refuses to go in certain rooms due to something untoward, while some owners even believe their furry friends have seen the spirit of a deceased loved one, claiming they wag their tail at an unknown presence. Comedian Joe Lycett said in 2021, I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, he thought his home was haunted by a ghost dog as pooches can't stop weeing in his doorway. What? Top 5 telltale signs your pet has seen a ghost. Here, experts at Animal Friend Pet Insurance share their signs your furry friend may have seen a ghost. Number 1, they follow something that you can't see. If your four-legged friend is sitting completely still, but their eyes dart across the room, or they get up and follow something, this could mean they have seen something spooky. If you're concerned, follow them and see where they go, if you so dare. Number 2, you catch them barking or hissing at something invisible. This can really put the fear into you when you're the only one home. Your pet may simply have heard or smelt something you haven't, but it could also mean there's something paranormal present. They come to you for comfort or try to protect you. If your pet has been acting strangely over nothing, hiding behind you or standing in front of you when there's nothing there, there could be a ghostly visitor in the house. They're easily distracted. If your four-legged friend starts to behave like someone else has their attention, it could mean something ghoulish has them distracted. Number 5, they behave as if they're being praised. Cats that paw at nothing and dogs that roll on their back to receive a belly rub from nobody may actually be doing it to a ghoul presence. Sometimes events can occur without any explanations, but it is important to get any persistent behavioral changes checked out. Jen Wormlitten, MRCVS, head of veterinarian scientist and animal friends insurance, advises if the behavior continues and it's a change from your pet's usual self, we recommend owners discuss this with their vet in case further advice is needed. Explanation. So is there an explanation for it all, or are our pets really ghostbusters? Ryan Neal, head of behavioral science at Blue Cross, says sometimes when pets behave strangely, it might appear they are sensing something unknown and supernatural, when in actual fact it is far more likely that they are sensing a real thing that is far beyond people's limited sight, smell, and hearing. As humans, we might think there is nothing there when our dog growls or barks at what appears to be an empty space, leading us to suspect something spooky is taking place, but they could easily be responding to something they could hear 4 times further away than our own hearing. Likewise, a cat that suddenly avoids using a certain area of the house might be doing so because something unpleasant happened in that location. For example, they might have slipped and hurt themselves, and so now have a negative association with that place. Without knowing this, it might appear that the cat is avoiding the area because it can sense a ghost. Whether ghosts are real or not, there's enough evidence for us to understand that pets' superpowered senses enable them to experience the world in a very different way to humans. Are you kidding me? I froze. Am I good? Okay. I froze for a second, so I was like, what the heck? Heather, whatever goes, cats see tiny spiders too. Bernadette goes, my cat Peanut Butter hisses at my roommate's room sometimes, yet that room is still haunted. Had to siege again. Heather, whatever goes, today a chipmunk and a small bird warned my dog and I as we went out the door. I knew it was something, but I thought they were scared. We got one block and coyotes. We got back home fast. Sweet buddies. Oh, that's super cool. Wendy goes, nope, dogs are smarter than this. They just don't talk. Emily goes, the only time my dog acted weird was whenever we watched Insidious. My daughter banned that movie. D Nice goes, Butter did it all the time. Maya has not. Bernadette uses dragon blood sage for anyone that's asking. Jillian goes, I don't like spiders. I find them all the time in new house we bought. I don't mind spiders. I had a wolf spider in my bathroom. I heard that they I don't know, I could be mistaken, but I heard that they kill poisonous spiders. So I was like, he could stay in here all he wants. Ray J. Wench goes, I had many pets react to paranormal events in the house. My current cat hisses at everything, me, her food, her toys, the couch. Jillian goes, wolf spiders is what we have here. It's weird because I hadn't seen, I know last year I had a bunch of wolf spiders, but this year I hadn't seen any. So this is the first one. I was like, oh, hey, wolf spider. Wendy goes, I live creekside with 100+ spiders, cabin spiders, and snakes. Wolf spiders are okay. Heather Wetter goes, that's good about wolf spiders. Makes sense. D Nice, I'm the same way. They are welcomed as long as they don't crawl on my face. I'm the same way. They are fast. They were on. He was on my tile in my bathroom, and he was like, I don't know how he was moving. It was so weird, and it was fast. Like he just was like gripping onto the tile and just moving. It was cool. It was cool to see. Plus, I like wolves, so I'm a little because they're called wolf spiders. So I'm like, oh no way, Jillian had one chase. This one was kind of scared of me. It was going the other way. Because I was afraid of that. Because I was like, you gotta move. You gotta move. I gotta go to the bathroom. Because he was like right next to my toilet. I was like, I'm not going to the bathroom with you right there. I was like, nope. Uh-uh. And then daddy loglings, they eat bugs and all that, so I don't mind them too. Jillian goes, I was chasing it and it said psych and he turned around. Dusty goes, we have a few bad kind of spiders that bite and can be dangerous. That's why I kind of I'll look them up if I don't know what they are, but luckily I mean we do have black widows here and the brown widows as well, so I try to stay away from those, but I don't mind a spider that kills them. Carol goes, they could stay outside. I don't need them in my house. D nice. Oh, that it is, because all you see is like, because I'm like, who put off my camera? And then all you see is like the spider crawling over it. True. D nice. It's hilarious. Jillian goes, my cat corners them for me. I tried that with Lewis's cats, and they just they don't see it. They're like, why are you putting me up here? Gunner Girl goes, we got mat issues. Those little pinchy things are oh, I had mats in my room and I didn't know why. And I was cleaning and I was going through you know, like my drawers that have like, you know, my snacks and stuff in it, and I opened it up. There was an apple in there that I had no idea was in there, and that was what was causing the mats. And I was like, oh. So then once I took that out and threw it out, it was fine. But always check for unaccompanied fruit in your room. It's like Wendy's asking what a mat is. It's like a little pesky, annoying fly. It's annoying. Very annoying. Lisa Boo goes, I have a jewel spider that eats the fruit flies and mosquito. That is cool. See, that's why I don't mind having spiders sometimes, because sometimes they're cool. Jillian goes, yeah, gnats do suck big time. They do. They're annoying. Or also check, because I know gnats can come if you like anything spoiled. Maybe you got something spoiled hiding somewhere that you don't know about, because it could happen. And it could cause gnats. No way. D Nice goes, all at my sister's place, they had a big silverfish problem caused by the boxes from Amazon we ordered during. Dang, no way. That sucks. Dusty says we call them gnats. No way. I never thought of that. That is weird. I didn't think, oh, you know what? I'm going to be careful with my cardboard, my boxes from Amazon now. Lisa Boo goes, they breed in the sink plumbing too. Bernadette goes, gnats love wine. Sometimes I leave a glass out and they are attached to it and drown. They like sweet things. So the wine thing I would make sense, because it's made with yeah, it's kind of depending on what type of wine. There's some sweet wine. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for questions. Ask away. If you guys are coming in now, we did talk about Lanier Lake in Georgia. If you guys want to catch the replay, go for it. But right now, and we did talk about some few other things as well along the way. So if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free. Could be random. Did any of you guys, I think did any of you guys, I haven't seen it yet, but I was wondering if any of you guys got to check out Alien Romulus over the weekend. I haven't seen it yet. Lisa Boo uses a concoction of apple cider vinegar, water, and a touch of dish soap to get rid of gnats. D Nice is asking, where is Peachy Day? I'll give you guys a few more minutes. Actually, there I forgot where I put him for a second. I had to look. I was like, wait a minute, where did I put him? It's the heat. It was a little hotter today. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. It's supposed to be, I know it's hotter in some areas than it is here, but I'm not looking forward to the 99 degrees. It's allegedly saying on the weather app, but I can never believe the weather app. So we'll see. But I'm not looking forward to that. Heather, whatever. I'm kind of the same way. I kind of only watch movies at home. I don't really go to the movies too much anymore. Matthew goes, no Buist today. Nope. He didn't pop in. It's I don't know what it is now here. It's 82 now. Carol, it's 59. Oh my gosh. That is, I'd be like this. D Nice goes, I was doing the recycling before the stream. Yeah, I know. Today was just nasty. I mean, we had a nice couple of days and then boom, it came back. And I was like, Tirana goes 105. See, that's what I'm saying. We can't, like here in SoCal, we can't complain much. Because I know in other states it's a lot hotter. So I should be thankful, but still, I do not like the heat. Panda Bear goes at 60. Oh, Panda Bear, you're lucky. Lisa Boo goes, we have a storm coming in, so I don't think I'll be able to see the super blue moon. Ah. Panda Bear had a high of 71. You're lucky, Panda Bear. Heather, whatever. Oh my gosh, 60, but we'll be 53. Heather, whatever. I want to thank you for your PayPal. It says shark deterrent. Hearts for Heather, whatever. I was going to say hearts for PayPal. Hearts for Heather, whatever, guys. Dusty goes 74 was the high there. Oh. Emily goes, there's a very low budget movie free on YouTube called Milk and Cereal. Was pretty good for low budget. Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to check those out. Carol goes, I keep going out on my balcony. It's so nice out except for the rain. That feels nice. Heather Redder goes, I'll be howling tonight for a little online friend during the lockdown. We former fans howl at blue moons. Oh, that's cool, Carol. At least there's a roof over the balcony. Panda Bear can't see the moon, unfortunately. I'm probably going to check it out after the stream, see if I could see something. Heather, whatever goes, a dog who cheered us up during. Oh, that's cool. That is super cool. Guys, keep the questions coming. D Nice is going, if you could see the moon, share it on Telegram. I can never, when I take a picture of the moon, I can never get, I mean, and even with the, and this is a pretty good camera on the Samsung, I still can't get a good moon picture. So D Nice has dropped, for you guys that want to join our Telegram, D Nice has dropped the link in the chat. Check it out. Just make sure you lower your notifications because some nights we could go crazy. D Nice goes, what did you have for dinner tonight? I kept it easy. I went with good old because sometimes in the summer I'm not super hungry. Um, I haven't been hungry because of the heat, so I kept it simple. I just went with um Greek yogurt, um strawberries, and granola. I kept it simple. It was good. I don't know why. I saw someone eat it the other day and I was like, oh, that sounds so good. So I bought some. D Nice is asking, did you have a good day today? Yes, I did. Dusty goes, we have a tropical storm headed for us. Could become a hurricane. Been a calm season so far. Maybe that's why maybe that's why it's gonna be cooler at the end of the week. I'm wondering why. I haven't been following the weather forecast. Matthew goes, you need a tripod to help with moon pictures. D Nice is asking, if you're a big reader, what's the most books have you read in a month? I haven't. I used to be about 10 years ago, I used to be like an avid book reader. I just haven't I still would like to go back into it. I just haven't read much lately. But I think I used to read a book in a couple of days sometimes. Or depends, like some, because I used to read before I went to bed. So it was kind of how I calmed myself down. I stopped doing I need to get back into that. And sometimes it could be a couple days, sometimes it was 2 weeks. So maybe 3 books in a month, 4. I used to. Emily goes, Channing Tatum, for those of you who are a fan of him, has a new one coming out called Blink Twice. He's actually playing a bad guy. Ooh. When he asked what kind of granola, I think it was Nature Valley, because I like the Nature Valley oat and honey bars. So I just got the granola. It was good. Heather, whatever goes, our dog friend was Pluto living. The owner is a wildlife photographer, but she did videos of her dog Pluto telling jokes. Oh, that is cool. D Nice goes, do you prefer short stories or novels? I have to say short stories. D Nice goes, do you do any gaming? I used to play games, but I stopped. I'm gonna probably get into it because they are coming out with a 16-bit Halloween and Evil Dead that I could play on my Switch. So I'm probably gonna get back into it. Carol goes, we had a mass grilled chicken breast with butter herb rice and green beans. Cool. Julissa goes, I used to be an avid reader until I discovered all of you on YouTube. Wait, no, what? The granola wasn't steel cut. Heather, whatever goes, Pluto died, but we still go back to say hi and howl at the blue moons. That is so sweet. Carol goes, I game also on the Xbox. Yeah, I used to game a lot, but I stopped. I kind of tend to like the ones like I grew up with the Nintendo. So I kind of like playing those type of games. I because I suck at like Call of Duty type ones. I always end up dying. Though I do like I mean, who doesn't like, unaliving zombies? But I do, but I suck at it. So D Nice goes, will I be on Twitch again? I may, depending on what kind of music he's playing. I may go in there and take over his decks. Carol goes, I suck at COD, but I still play. I think that's I yeah. But I'll still play it though. That's like what Carol says. I mean it's fun. Sometimes it's like you're fun, you're like, oh, and then you're like bugger. Like it's fun. It's fun. It's like a stress reliever. D-Nice goes, besides house, what other genres do you like? I like house and techno mostly. Techno is probably, it's funny because I started out as house, and then I started off basically what got me into the genre because I'm a big rocker. I grew up in the rocker scene. I grew up going to I never went to Ozfest, which is weird because that was the music I ended up liking the most. But I never went to Ozfest, but I went to all those little like Blink 182, Eve 6, Limp Bizkit. I've seen Godsmack. I saw DMX because he happened to be, at the show with Godsmack and DMX. I saw Stain opening up for Korn. I was a big rocker. Like I grew up in that scene. I went to those shows. I can't even remember the name of the show. Like they don't have it anymore. But I can't think of it that I went to. Like it was a big show, but it had I can't think of it, but it had bands like 311, Blink 182, those types of bands at it. I would go to. And then when I met Lewis, I discovered, electronic dance music, and it started off with Oliver Heldens. I got to meet him at EDC, so that was kind of cool. Got to see him live for the first time. Under his moniker High Low, because he does have a techno alias. Kind of like Eli Brown, who we kind of met. It's weird because Lewis had asked me if I wanted to take a picture with him, but he was just walking in through the security gates, and I didn't want to bother him. That was the main reason. But now I'm thinking, damn, I should have taken a picture with him because he's cool too. But it started off with Oliver Heldens, and then it went on to Armand van Helden, which is, if you know house music, he's probably one of the biggest legends of house music. And then it went on to Roger Sanchez, which I have not seen yet, but he is probably ultimately my favorite DJ. Musically, he's not Armand van Helden is. And then it went into techno. So now I'm more of a techno fan than I was. Like I listened to High Low, Eli Brown, Marie Vaunt, Leighton. I forgot I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Giordani, I think is how you pronounce his name. Stuff like that is now what I listen to. I like some trance with Armin van Buuren. Giuseppe, what's how you say it? Giuseppe Ottavani, I think is how you pronounce it. I used to like him. I like him too. But I can't mix it, so I don't try to mix it. And then I like some drum and bass. I just can't listen to it for too long. And then, yeah, basically that's where I am now. Like the rave scene is like completely different than the rock scene. The rave scene, people are more friendly. I feel like when you go to a rock scene, you kind of go with your friends. But when you go to the raves, you're like, everyone's like so nice to you. Like, you're like, what are you? And where'd you come from? Type of thing. Everyone's so nice and welcoming. You don't really, I mean, you get the occasional people that push and stuff like that, but because like, you're going through a crowd. But other than that, people are pretty nice. I pretty much like all kinds of music. Like I grew up listening to oldies and country because of my dad. Then I discovered Bryan Adams. Then it went on to like Jim Blossom's Everclear. And then it went on to Blink 182, Eve 6, Sum 41. Liked a little bit of 311, liked some of Deftones, and then it went harder. I went to Korn, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, and then I discovered electronic music. Lisa Bugo, so you were a new metal fan? Yes, I still am. I still like new metal. I've been listening. I've been doing all those new metal because on YouTube there's quizzes where you could guess the new metal song. So I've been doing that. I've been doing those lately. And I'm like, oh, I know this one. And it kind of makes me mad because younger, I used to know all the bands and I could have answered every single one of the questions. Now I don't. Now I'm kind of out of it. Panda Bear goes, I have had enough of country music because of my older sister who loved country music. I'm kind of from the old country, so I'm kind of from Alan Jackson, Toby Keith, rest in peace. Alan Jackson type of thing, Clint Black, Travis Tritt, Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, Faith Hill, Tim McGraw. I'm kind of from back. I know Tim McGraw and all them are still around, but I'm kind of from that era when it was just them. D Nice goes, I love when you talk about something you're heavily passionate about. Thank you, D Nice. I appreciate that. I've always been I've always been a fan of music. So the fact that I found something else to accompany my joy for music is awesome. Did you ever like Lady Antebellum? I liked a few of their songs. Julius asks. Like there was the Dixie Chicks. I can't think of Sugarland, I think was the name. But I've always liked music. Music has always been my way to escape. It was my way of forgetting about the world type of thing and escape. So it always holds a place in my heart. Carol goes, the older country or Dolly Parton, Ferlin Husky, Tammy Wynette, and others. Oops, I dated myself. No, that's okay, Carol. D Nice goes, country makes me nauseous. That's like the real old country with Dolly Parton and Tammy Wynette. All right, guys, real quick, because I'm gonna forget. And I kind of forget early. I forgot earlier where I placed them. But Skeleduck is right above my head, underneath the Nerd Report sticker, right where my finger is pointed. I had to look earlier because I was like, where did I put him? The heat's getting to me. He is right there where my finger is, right under the Nerd Report sticker, right next to my dad's memorial pamphlet. Right there. Carol goes, we also listen to Elvis, Beach Boys, and so many that my dad would listen to those. So I kind of grew up listening to that. So that became one of my favorites as well. Julissa goes, he's in timeout again. D Nice goes, before YouTube got pesky, I used to go to live shows in shopping centers to record the live artists. When Chester from Lincoln Park passed, I recorded from the Fan LA show at Grand Park. That's so cool. I never got to see Lincoln Park. That was the one thing. And I loved Lincoln Park with Mike Shinoda, Joseph Hahn. I like them. I remember when their first single came out. I still remember where I was when I first heard it. I was driving in Puente Hills Mall when I first heard it. But I do. I could relate to their music, and I always enjoyed their music. And they didn't really the first album that they came out, they didn't use any cuss words or anything. I mean, I know eventually there was one song that had a few cuss words, but it was subtle. It wasn't like Limp Bizkit or Limp Bizkit's notorious for that. And then Korn I just liked because he with Jonathan Davis's vocals, it was just they were dark, very dark. And I don't know. It's just, I grabbed onto them. Bernadette goes Susie and the Banshees face to face was one of my faves. Audio Adrenaline hauled down to Walmart to get the CD when it released. Two little boys in the shopping cart seat. My first CD was Bryan Adams. I remember getting it. It was right when CDs came out. I just aged myself, but oh well. And I went to Kmart when Kmart was still around, and I bought it. And then from then on, I would buy CDs. Like I would buy CDs. I still have a box load of CDs. I think I reached over I still have them. I have over 600 CDs. Yes, Julius, it was from Robin Hood. I heard that song, fell in love with it, was a fan, got to see him live at the Greek Theater when I was 16. My dad bought me tickets. I almost died. D Nice goes, oh, when the lead from Korn and the lead from, oh my God, Amy from Evanescence, she has a beautiful voice. I don't care what anybody says. Amy has a freaking amazing voice. And every time I hear her, that's the first thing I say. I go, oh my God, that girl has an amazing voice. It's like, oh. Like, if you like a more harder rock, Lacey, when she was with Flyleaf, she left Flyleaf. But when Lacey was with Flyleaf, she had, like, if you want the rocker chick kind of like alternative new metal sound, she was amazing voice. Oh, I remember that, Heather, whatever, you put the CD in and you're walking and it would skip. It's not like today where you could carry an entire library with you and stream. Or records. Records are quiet. You know what? My parents had records, and my parents had an 8-track player, and I remember playing the records, but I don't know where those records went. D Nice goes, okay, Grayson Report, a road trip playlist we must create. Bernadette still has a Walkman and tapes. That is super cool. Everybody was like, oh my God, what is that thing? Where'd you get it? Nah, hey, having a Walkman and tapes, that's still awesome. Because there's still, like, there's a lot of classic music that are on tapes that aren't digitized, or that's on records that aren't digitized. So it's awesome to have those. Dean Nice goes, I remember trying to record with the tape recorder. So, oh, I would, I would do that too. Or with CDs where you made a mixtape. I used to do that a lot too. Heather, whatever goes, I got frostbite changing songs on my Walkman when it was below zero and I was running at 6,500 feet. Oh, wow. Bernadette goes, it still works. That's super. That's cool. That's even a plus. Dusty has records, tapes, CDs, but no 8-tracks. Carol has a few records. The one on my wall is the Eagles Hotel California. Lisa Bugo's mixtapes were everything. They were. You can make the angry at your parents mixtape. You can make you can make F you boyfriend a mixtape or girlfriend, whatever. You can make happy songs for a trip, a mixtape. Thank you, Wendy. Bernadette goes, I still have the mixtape from my very first BF from high school. That's cool. That's super cool. Bernadette goes, it was a good mix. Nothing wrong with that. Make sure I didn't forget anybody. Thank you, Lisa Boo. Guys, any last minute questions before I end this stream? And again, Skeleduck, for those that you might have missed, is right above my head where my finger's pointed, underneath Nerd Report sticker, next to my dad's memorial pamphlet. It's right there, just in case you guys missed it. Thank you, Heather, whatever. Thank you, D Nice. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Report and the little rabbit hole that we talked about music at the end. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're about on Grayson Report, right? The rabbit holes. No, I'm just kidding. I will see you on the next one, which will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there, be squared, stay spooky, guys, and sweet nightmares. Good night, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you, guys, and good night.